Hello everyone, my name is Yasir Rathore, and first of all I would like to introduce my group partners Veera Kusiko and Sami Lintula. What this video presentation is about is the redesign and localization of a social media website, and for the purposes of this presentation we have chosen the Hindu as the culture and Flickr as a social media service. Now, one of the reasons for choosing the Hindu culture, of course, is the fact that it not only extends to India but it extends all over the Indian subcontinent. That includes Nepal, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. And so it includes almost 1.5 billion people. And also, one of the reasons for choosing Flickr is the fact that Flickr not only isn't very popular around the world, but also it's not very popular in India. We have good reason to believe that it could be that Flickr is not very localized for the Indian culture. Now, we would like to look into that detail and see if we can change that. So, what comes to your mind when you think about India and the Indian culture? Well, of course, one of the things that should come into your mind if you know anything about India is color. Here is a picture of Indian art, and as you can see, there is a lot of color in the art. There is yellow, there is pink, there is red, and overall it looks very beautiful just because of the amount of colors that have been used. Looking at another picture, this is from a festival, and of course the Indian colors are very visible in their festival as well. We haven't included the picture of the festival Holi, but that could also be a good example here. Even in the Indian food, you can see that the colors are very important. You can see that there is some dish here that has been garnished with green, with black, and with red to make it pop out and really kick you in the eye. Okay, so now we have a color chart, and you can see at the top, this is the Hindu culture, which is C, and then we've also drawn a black circle so you can understand where different colors are. The color which I want to focus on right now is the red color, and of course you can see 21 and 22, and then you can see 41. So 21 and 22, of course red is for energy, it's also for eroticism. Red also specifies passion. I don't know where that is. Well, of course 41 is heat, similar to other Western cultures as well. There is 56, which is for marriage. That can be seen in the bridal clothes. The red color is there a lot. Also 62, which is for passion, and I want you to keep that in mind because it will come into play later in the assignment. Also, I would like to talk about some of the other colors. Of course, white is for death in the Indian culture. Blue is for art and creativity. Moving on, I want to first show you the overall design of Flickr, and of course you can see that it's very plain, it's very simple, and for the purpose of this assignment we will focus on the groups. And if you don't know anything about Flickr, it's basically a social media service where you can look at images that have been created by pages. The images and the photography is very professional, so you can join the groups and you can actually start your own account. You do some of your own photography. Now, of course, we would like to thank Sami Lintula for creating an account and letting us see his account. So you can see that there's option to create group. There's also the option to join certain different groups. And the reason why we want to focus on groups is that the Indian culture is a very collectivistic culture, so people like to be part of groups. They don't like to be left out alone, and they also have a strong family culture. I think it was the color green that was for family. I'm not sure if it's visible here. Also, green is for happiness as well. I want you to keep that in mind. Now, this is the general design of Flickr, and in the next slide, yeah. So what we've done is we've replaced the blue of joining groups and creating groups with red, which specifies passion. And the idea here is that if you're joining a group, or if you're creating a group, a photography group about something, then obviously you are passionate about it. And so red is for passion, as I mentioned before. Then there's also the customize button, and the idea is, over here at least, that the customization would be for a basic user. So if a basic user does not like the look of Flickr, then he or she can just use the customize button, and what's going to happen is that the user will be asked about the different cultures, and then the user can change the look and feel of Flickr depending on their culture. So the functionality should be built in to Flickr, and of course for this assignment we only have the Hindu culture as an explanation. Okay, so here is also a picture of basic Flickr design, and we want to just show you the discussion. So if someone actually goes into the group, there's this discussion tab, and it's like a forum, so people can uh, start a forum, and then other people can reply to it, and it shows the replies, last replier, latest post, and of course the title of the discussion. Now what we want to do here, keeping in mind of course the fact that the Indian people like to be part of groups and they like to socialize, they don't like to be left alone, is we want to add a chat feature here. And the idea of course is that people will be able to chat with other people who have this similar interest, keeping in mind that of course we are in the nature photography group, and then in the discussions you can actually chat one-on-one with different people who have same interests as you. Moving on, so here is where you can actually select an image, and as you can see there is the image, and there is the person who has uploaded the image, and then you can also follow that person. And this is of course the generic Flickr layout, so it's not customized, and here is how we would like to customize it. Of course the follow button, we've changed it to red. We've talked about this before, and also we've added a chat functionality, so you can chat with people who like this image or who have actually come to see the image. The idea once again is to be part of groups, so you'll be allowed to chat with people who like the same image as you do. Moving on, remember that I told you about the the basic customization, but the basic customization is not all that we have. We also have the feature for advanced customization, and some of the things that we have added to it is of course culture specific selections, background, image or color. We've also allowed the user to change the design layout, the font sizes, and the design tips. Now let's have a look at how Flickr should look if you use some of these features. So here is the layout of Flickr. You will notice that at the top we have the navigation bar, which is yellow, and then there is the bar below is green, which is for family and nature and creativity. I think it's yellow that's for creativity. And then we also have the current tab in blue. Blue is Well, I'll have to see what blue is for. As you can see, blue is of course for art and creativity, and then yellow is for, yeah, yellow is for fun. And what's green for? Green is for, yeah, green is for happiness. So as you can see, there's a lot of colors first off, and then there's a different amount of things. So there's yellow color, and then there's blue, which signifies art and creativity. So of course Flickr is mostly based on art and creativity. What I also want to talk about is the fact that at the background there is this leaves pattern, but of course this can change. So we've only used this as an example, and the reason for using it is that nature is a very important aspect of the Indian culture. But this generally is how Flickr should look like for an advanced customization feature. And as you can see, we haven't really added anything in the groups, but this is only to give you a basic idea. And of course, the background image is changeable by the user. At the end, I would say thank you from me, Yasir Ator, and also on behalf of my partners, Veera Kusiko and Samilintula.